Hi, I'm here to share my budgeting method. It's very simple. The reason that I am sharing it is because I had a conversation with a family member recently, and we were talking about budgeting, and I was trying to explain how I do this. I Everybody, maybe has different ways of keeping track of their money and finances. I personally didn't. Grow up being taught how to budget. So I kind of had to figure all of this out by myself. And at the age of 35, I have come up with a very simple method that has worked for me for the last couple of years. Um, I'm going to show that today. So let's get started. Let's start by selecting 5 columns across and going up to Format, Merge Cells. Click Merge Horizontally. And in that box, go ahead and type month. And let's just say that we're going to budget for the month of June 2024. You can put whatever month you want to in there if you want to do, but that's just, it'll work either way. So, then below that, write date. It's going to be the date of your income or expenses, bills. And then next to that, put name of income or bill. Obviously, as you get comfortable using this, you will make adjustments and personalize your method of keeping track of all of this. Then amount is going to be the amount of that income or bill. In this column, you're going to mark as paid when that is paid. Some people like to put the date that the bill was paid, because in this column, you're going to put the date the actual bill is due. So in the mark as paid, you may want to put the date that bill was actually paid. And then over here, we're going to just do notes. Now select your merged row here. Going to put a border around that because I like to put borders around my heading here. Let me move this out of the way. When you click borders, you can choose your line weight or style. I'm going to choose a nice thick border and just outer borders for those merged cells. And then I'm going to select these 5, date, name of income, amount, mark as paid, notes, and click those borders again. And this time my line is going to be the same. And I'm going to click this grid. It separates all the cells so I can create my columns. Now, let's start by putting in all of the dates of your income. So for me, I get paid every week. Some people get paid every 2 weeks. Some people get paid once a month. Go ahead and whatever those pay days are for you, go ahead and put those dates in here. So for me, because it's every Friday, it's going to be the 7th, the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. So I'm going to go ahead and start by putting in the 7th. And then I can copy and paste. That's going to be 4 paychecks. So I'm going to select 3 more cells and just hit paste. And then double click those and I can change the date. 14th, double click. 21st and double click 28th. Those are all the Fridays in June that will be a paycheck. And write paycheck. I just say paycheck. You can put paycheck dash your company name, or wherever that paycheck is coming from if you want to put the details in there. And then I'm just going to copy and select the next three cells and paste. I'm going to put your amounts. I'm not going to put the actual amount of my paycheck in there, but feel free to do that. First, though, select that column and come up here to Format and go over to Number and click Currency. And hopefully this works because it didn't work for me earlier. You don't even have to put the $. When you put the amount in here, let's just say that that paycheck is going to be $1,000. We can dream. You know what? Let's dream really big though. Let's say that that paycheck's going to be $7,000. I'm not trying to depress anybody, and you don't even have to put like automatically. Once you hit enter, it automatically counts that as income. And so if you're going to have the same income for every paycheck, go ahead and put that. You can adjust it if you're more or less for those pay periods. If you're expecting more or less for those pay periods, go ahead and do that. Remember, budgeting is all about your planning. So you're planning according to the expected income and expected expenditures or bills. So now let's go ahead and one thing I like to do is make my paycheck or income periods, separate those with color. So go ahead and pick a color. I'm going to just go with green because that's the color of money. And then my first bill of the month is always, you can put your rent or mortgage, however, your housing cost is, however you make that payment. And so I'm going to say the first. Right, and I love that. You can just double click it and it shows up your calendar and you can change the dates as you want to. So let's say rent/mortgage, whatever your situation is, and put that amount in there. And let's dream really big and pretend that that's going to be, $1,000. And you don't have to put the $. You just put in 1,000, and however many cents, and hit enter, or click to a different cell, and it automatically counts that as currency. Because this is the first, this is due on the first, I'm going to select that whole row over here and grab that and just a long press with your mouse and drag that up to just above that first paycheck. So for me, what that would mean is that in a the previous month, say May, I will have probably already paid that because I pay my bills the day of my paycheck. I just go ahead and pay all my bills for that week. And that way I kind of know what I have. There's no surprises through the week. It's just, everything that's going to be coming out of that. And because I plan it, I already know, none of this is a surprise for me. I know exactly how much I'm going to have left, and we'll go into a little bit more about how that works in a minute. But so we go ahead and drag that up to the top since it's due on the first. And let's say, for example, that you have a power bill or a water bill. Let's say a power bill. And let's pretend that your power bill is due on the 8th. And let's say that power bill is $250 in our magical world. And hit enter, and let's move that into the appropriate pay period that it falls in, which is the 7th, right? that bill is going to have to come out that pay period. So this paycheck is paying for that bill. So you're going to put that in there. Let's say that you have a internet payment. And let's pretend like it's due on the 18th. So you put your date there. And let's say your internet bill. And let's just say that your internet bill is $80. And you're going to select that row and move that into the pay period in which it falls. It's due on the 18th, so it will have to be paid between this paycheck and that paycheck, between the 14th and the 21st. So you're just moving that there. And that's how you proceed. I also include groceries, gas, so you can make rows for those. Grocery, gas, and you will probably be spending those kinds of things every week, right? Between every paycheck. So you can take that and move that into a pay period. You can copy and come over here. If you right click, you can hit insert row above or below. So we're going to insert row below and come over here to this column and just paste. That didn't quite work. Hang on. You can undo up here and select these two. Let's just start over and copy, and let me add one more row here. Okay. Then right click and paste. And so you could do that for each, between each pay period. You just right click, insert row below, and insert another row below. Those are not supposed to be green, so I'm just going to come up, select them, and come up here and just hit reset, and it makes them regular color, and then copy and paste again. And so you just continue to go ahead and type in the date and the bill name and put that in whichever pay period it belongs in, according to the date of the bill or the date that you want to pay that. Another really nice thing about this is, let's say that so with my housing payment, I don't just pay that all at once. I like to take a little out of each paycheck and put that towards my housing payment. So I would select this and copy, and then do the same thing I did with the grocery and gas. Just come over here, right click, and make a spot for that and paste. And do that with each, in each pay period. And then of course change the date. So that one's going to be, I usually, like I said before, I usually pay all of my bills as soon as I get paid. So just to get them out of the way, so I don't have to think about them anymore. And then, so I'll move that. I changed the date to the 7th because I'll be paying it on the payday, and move it up into that pay period where it belongs. And then copy, paste it. Let's create another row here, insert row below, and just hit paste. There we go. It automatically changed the color. And then the 14th, because I'm paying it on that paycheck date. And so, which it wouldn't be $1,000, oh gracious, every week. But yeah, so, and then you can just change the dates. Let's say, that we live in a lovely world and that we can just get away with $250 a week. So yeah. So just continue to do that with each of your bills. Like, I made a list of my bills when they were all due and put those into my chart. and you can just, move those around into the pay period that you want those paid in. I can show you one I made for April. This, I didn't put the amounts in, it's just an example, but this is what, a completed month would look like. And something else that's really nice to be able to do with this is you can make notes. So let's say that I have a bill that is due in a different pay period, but I want to set aside money from an earlier pay period to pay for that bill later. So I will move money into a savings account to sort of set that aside, set those funds aside for a later bill. I could go ahead and hit insert row below, just add another row here, and a date that's going to get moved. Let's say the 7th, 24. And I'm just going to put savings. And then the amount that you moved over to savings. And basically all this is just keeping a list, okay? Because you're not actually going to be, like, this isn't keeping where it's going to automatically calculate things for you. This is just so that you have it all there in a list that's adjustable, and you can make notes and make other, because it can get way more complicated when you start inputting different commands and rearranging all of this to where it automatically calculates, deducts expenses from your income. And you can do that with this. It's just, a bit more complicated. So once you get comfortable doing something as simple as this, you can sort of experiment with how, you would want this to work for you in a different way. But for now, so let's say that I'm putting $10 into my savings account because I want to pay for something later. Let's say that I have another bill. Let's just say I have a miscellaneous bill that's coming up in the next pay period, but I want to set aside money in this pay period for this bill. So I'll put a note, set aside for miscellaneous bill on, let's just say that it's on the 17th and 4/6/17. And so over here, I will just put a note next to my miscellaneous bill, pull $10 from savings. And so once I get paid and I see, I review this at every payday. I go and I look at what those bills are going to be and what the expenses are going to be, and make sure that everything is in order and that it's all, going to work out. It's all there. And so I would see this bill where it says, oh, I have a bill coming up on the 17th and I need to pull $10 from my savings account for that. And so I would go ahead and go over to my savings account and put that back into my main bank account. This does not substitute in any way for using your banking app to keep track of the things, coming out of your account or the moving around of money. This is no different than if you had a budget sheet, a piece of paper and pencil, and you were just keeping track of all of your bills. This is just easier because you can make adjustments and it still looks very tidy and it doesn't get too confusing. And you can move bills or paychecks. You can change the dates that you want things paid or which paycheck you want that to come out of, and plan much more easily and fluidly. So yeah. So you just continue to add in all of your bills here between these pay periods, and make sure if you want to keep track of your groceries and your gas as well. What you can do is, let's say that I want to know the whole total sum of my bills or my expenses for that um, week. And you can come over here and select these, and down here at sum, it says, and here in the corner, sum of all of these expenses is $760. And so then you know how much your paycheck is going to be, and you could just subtract that, do the math with your calculator or whatever, and say, oh, I've got $7,000 coming in that week, and this is what I plan on having, the bills I plan on seeing go out, and this is what I'm going to have left. So yeah, if you want to make a note over here somewhere, you can, put that note to, is that after bills are paid, this is what's left of the paycheck. After bills paid, X amount of money is left over. So, but I just wanted to share this because there are a lot more, much more in-depth ways of budgeting and being able to track things. But I needed something that was just essentially a list, and that was fast, and I could edit it easily, and that, like, at a glance, in just a few minutes throughout the month, I can look at it and see, okay, this is what's coming up, and this is this is the money coming in, this is what's going out, and this is what I kind of need to plan for. Or if I need to move a bill and I'm like, ooh, I've got this other expense that was unexpected that I'm gonna have to pay, and I'm gonna have to move some bills around here, and it was just easy to do it with this. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you enjoy learning how to make this work for your budget.